Hello and welcome to episode 4, A High Score. In honor of today's theme, I'm coming to you live from the Caribbean. Smell that ocean breeze. I'm just fooling y'all, I'm not really in the Caribbean. This is a green screen. Just got it, brand new, having fun with it. You may also have noticed that this is a brand new camera. I'm stoked about that. It was at a great price, Black Friday sale. It's 60 frames per second. It's really awesome. Today's objective is indeed to compose 2 beach themes. But let me tell you about the first one. The first one is the quintessential beach theme. Wet sands, breezy ocean mist, coconuts. Rock back in your hammock and play the ukulele. This is so hard to hold. Second track, I don't know. With this show, I make things up as I go along. So what are the instruments that immediately come to mind when I think of beaches in video games? Certainly ukulele, but the other huge one is steel drums slash steel pan. If the name isn't familiar, you've more than likely heard it at least once in your life. This, to me, is the beach sound. Let's look up some quick examples in action. Gelato Beach, Super Mario Sunshine. So, to me, beach music is at its best when it's kept simple. Take Lurelin Village. Beautiful, elegant, so simple. There's always some good bass in there, it's very loud and prevalent in the mix. I think that's an essential component of a beach song that's often overlooked, I think, is the bass. And get that percussion sounding nice and beautiful, and then you're good to go. I think GarageBand's really not going to help me out here, so time to get some fresh new samples. Okay, Caramoon and Cara Music Productions. Lead steel drum. Why is there 7? They all have the same exact description. I'll try the one that's most downloaded. Boom. So these are good. Alright, let's see what. What? Have I never opened a RAR file? This doesn't need to be in the video. Oh, this is what I like to see. Let's listen in. Nothing is easier than every note on its own. And I expect some rolls. There's my rolls at the very end. Okay, I was scared for a little bit. I was like, oh no, there's no rolls. Okay, this is so great. These are so high quality too. Alright, getting started with the chill track today. For the time being, I'll be playing the vibraphone in place of the steel pan. This piece is going to be nice, slow, and calming, which will make for good contrast in track number 2, in which I bump up the tempo and introduce more instruments. So yes, I have decided. Track number 1, chill. Track number 2, more upbeat. That could be the upbeat one. And then loop. Oh! Awesome. Okay, well that's the upbeat one. That's great. Okay. I'm happy with that. So what you didn't get to see was yesterday I filmed for a couple hours and didn't get anywhere. I was lacking inspiration. Today I turn on the camera and the first thing I play within 10 minutes. I have both tracks already outlined. That's really nice. The question now becomes, because I've never done this before, what do I start on first? Orchestras have encore pieces where at the end of the show they play a really happy, upbeat tune that gets the audience riled up and excited. So I gotta think it only makes sense to end with a bang and end with the happy one, the upbeat one. I think I do want to make the Sunset Beach first. I'm gonna knock that steel pan out, put in all the samples, but before even that, first I'll clean up the notes that I just recorded. So I start my melody on an F. None of these notes are actually labeled, so it's just going to be a lot of listening. So in this folder of steel drum samples, there's over 140 different sounds. Clearly, the steel drum is not capable of playing that many notes, so what's going on here? So I figured out it's organized into 4 different sections. All of the notes are played 3 different times, I'm assuming with 3 different mallets. And then all of the notes are played again, but this time with rolls. I wasn't exactly sure how all these sounds differed, so I went ahead and made this little demo. Set 1 is clearly much softer than the other 2 sets. Sets 2 and 3 very similar, except 3 is a little more harsher and louder. Now overall, I'd like the steel drum in my track to be played pretty softly, but just using exclusively set 1 notes does not sound right to me. So allow me to begin to Frankenstein these 3 sets of steel drums by way of montage. I am very happy with the result. I especially like how the roll at the end sounds so natural, and yet it's trickery because it's 2 different samples playing at the same time. First, there's a single G note, and exactly half a beat later, the G roll comes in. I'm going to finish inputting all the samples, and the next time I see you will be tomorrow morning when we get to work on the next instrument. I don't even know if this will work. Oh, it's lace. That looks weird. This won't do. That works, I guess. It's a new day, and I'm ready to jump back into the project with some new perspective. So I'm looking in the Latin percussion section for some bongos. I'm looking for something like dum 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 dum. That's exactly how I want to start. Okay. Okay. Repeat. Yeah, perfect. Next, I think what this piece needs is acoustic guitar. Yeah, there we go. I just thought about it now, and I'm hoping that what I just came up with is not pulled directly from Lurelin Village. It's been a couple days since I heard it last when I filmed that bit, and I don't remember what it sounded like. Dum bum. Dagnabbit, that's exactly the same notes. No. At least my bongo rhythm is completely different. Thankfully. I have a good conscience, I'm changing this. Beachy though. I don't know, it sounds desert inspired to me. Alright, this is going to be a bit of a challenge, but let's try and get this acoustic guitar completely original and sounding something like a beach. A lot just happened in this stage, so let me break it down. Not only did I completely revamp what the guitar was playing, but I also changed the timing of the steel pan. There's a complete gap here, whereas there were none before. What I effectively did with this change is turn the steel drum into an accompanying instrument rather than the main melody of the piece. This change, I hope, will strengthen the track as a whole. To support the steel drum notes, I also added some brand new marimba. It sounds like this. It's yet another little change that adds depth. You'll notice what I did was kind of like brickwork, layer these notes on top of each other. I wanted the guitar to sound as realistic as I could get it. So whenever it's playing two notes, such as... they're not being played at the exact same time. There's a little delay, always. This is to emulate the lag between striking strings. Could have spent several more hours trying to make it really sound like a real guitar, but at the end of the day, you know it's fake, I know it's fake, it's good. I'm getting like a very flowery vibe to this, like a community garden on Hawaii. They're planting the hibiscus. I don't know. Alright, so I've made a discovery. So long story short, the steel drums and the flute are competing with each other whenever they're playing simultaneously. On the other hand though, I found that if I cut out the steel drum, look what happens. That sounds really pleasant. So my new course of action is to compose something here in the middle and then have flute play the second time through, which means a lot more work. To think that the first track of episode 1 I finished on that day. Nowadays it takes me a minimum of 5 days per track. It's done now. It's 1 in the morning and I finally finished it and I am happy with it. I completely revamped the flute and clarinet. The middle section has a bunch of new parts, including new instruments. Let me show you. All of this is new, and marimba and guitar have new parts as well. If you've watched an episode before, then you probably know what's coming up next. It's time to name the track. So for the week and a half I've been working on it, it's been called Sunset Beach, which is A, a boring name, frankly, and B, I think someone else has that for something. Beach umbrella. Oh, of course, the Kaho Omalu Kahakai. Yeah, that's the new name. Food names in Hawaiian. You know, what's the name of the pork? Kalua? Yeah, what's kalua? Ooh, kalua is a traditional Hawaiian cooking method that utilizes an imu, a type of underground oven. Oh, this is so perfect. This is exactly the kind of feel that this song gives me. Like some traditionally cooked in an underground oven kind of pork. Like that's so perfect. Alrighty, please enjoy the finished track, week and a half in the making. So composing wise, this track was definitely challenging for me. It took me many days to get to a point when I thought, this is working. I'm happy to be finally moving on to the second track. Let's go ahead and open the project file. I have not opened it since I last made it, which was 11 days ago. It's coming back to me now. I'm remembering why I thought this was good for a beach. So let me start by just polishing this up on vibraphone. So after listening to this idea just popped into my head immediately. Like I heard it. It was there. I'm envisioning this high-pitched flute that goes like this. And that ending, I don't know, I just made it up right now. Maybe that's in it, I don't know. So let's try and play that. Yeah, that's it. So I don't know what octave actually I want this. Alrighty, as always, let's clean it up. I'm getting some crazy out of nowhere inspiration. And I hear this bass. And the weird thing is I wasn't hearing bass for any other part. And then, oh, on steel pan! Okay, basically here's the sitch. Yeah, like that. So that bass lick will last like one measure, and then immediately after we get some steel pan. It's gonna start something like that, and we'll see what that ends up being. Yeah, there we go. And again with that inspiration, this is like Beach Ball Galaxy. Yeah, there we go. The issue is I need to distance myself from Beach Ball now. But before I continue, it's a new day and I realize I've been having this old thing up for a couple days now and I haven't changed it. That's the thing. Now that I'm starting to do this, I don't know how often I'm supposed to refresh it, you know? Let's fix that right now. I'm sure I matched it up perfectly. Next, let's single in on the percussion. Because, yeah, out of everything, that's what I want to tackle next because I have this idea right here. The type of sound I'm looking for was used in Dolphin Shoals and Mario Kart 8. Right there, it's already so perfect. That's exactly the kind of percussion I'm thinking of. Let's see what GarageBand has. Probably nothing. Okay, conga. Okay. And bongos. This may be some of the hardest percussion I've had to do on this show, so let's try it. It's worth noting that the drums are not complete yet. They're lacking a sense of fullness and a sense of real power. That even with 3 stacked on top of each other, I'm not getting yet. For now, however, let's move on to the bass line. Yeah, I like that. Let's copy what we have over here and match it over here. I don't know, what would that be over here? That's one way of doing it. Let's see what that sounds like. Try that again. I like that. I like how that turns out. But that second time, so instead of doo doo doo, it's gonna be doo 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 doo. Yeah, there we go. This is reminding me of like those silly Flash games I used to play back when I was like, I don't know, 8 to 10 years old, or maybe up to 11 even. Like Bloons Tower Defense 4 or 3. Like you would get like bass lines and these kind of islandy themes. So like this is kind of bringing me back. I took a couple hours. Basically, I finished every part of the song except for the guitar. I'm still not 100% on what to do with the guitar. That's still annoying. Actually, I just opened it up. There's actually a bit that you haven't seen yet. So let me show you exactly what you missed these past several hours. I added a shaker, tambourine, a wood block, a drum kit, added more timbales, and even a samba whistle, which if you're not familiar, it's this thing. Very Brazilian, but also very beach. Now the track sounds like this. This is, without a doubt, the hardest, most complex percussion I've ever made on this show. And the reason is, polyrhythms, polyrhythms, polyrhythms. This was just like an hour ago I've discovered this. I was like, finally, the fullness is there. So for the first time in several days, things are finally falling back into line. Which, man, making music is such a roller coaster. I swear, I start out maybe not knowing, and then I get an idea, and then there's another problem, and another. In the first track, I talked about how Lurelin Village inspired several aspects of its creation, and this time it's no different, but with a different track, Sunshine Seaside. I love this track, and from it I borrowed the idea of adding a woodblock, tambourine, and shaker, and also the kind of break in the middle for the steel pan. This video is already so long, so I'm not going to show you the steel pan right now. Just wait until it's done. It's going to be cool. So the very last thing before EQ is, will acoustic guitar work? Can I get it to work? Let me try. The answer is yes. Pause. How did I do this? Well, back when I was still unsure what I wanted for Kahlua Cove, I actually filmed a bit of me explaining the exact process I ended up using right here. I was going to scrap the footage, but hey, this is perfect. Allow him to explain. I'm going to try and play the chords exactly how you would play them on the actual guitar, meaning there's one note for all 6 strings. Who is the composer for Animal Crossing? Kazumi Totaka. I should have known that. Totaka-san composed all the Animal Crossing tracks, including those played by KK Slider, the Anthro Dog guitarist. I once read in an article how Totaka-san, clearly a guitarist himself, actually inputted all 6 of the strings through the MIDI program, which, as we all know, is really piano-based, piano-centric kind of program and stuff. Clearly he cared about getting that sound exactly right. And he probably composed it on guitar too. I'm by no means a guitarist, the same way I'm not a ukuleleist. Use that. But I do know piano, and I do know Google. So I'm going to first find the chords on piano, and then transfer them. Shouldn't be too hard, I hope. There is a note for every string of the guitar. This is an open. And I find the chord I want, in this case, A minor 7th over G, E string, bump it up 3 times, bump it up 3 times, bump it up twice, bump it up once, leave open. Very cool. So as for what I'm going to name the track, I've had it in my mind for a while now. This is a festival. This is a big, giant, communal get-together. People of all walks of life, the children, the elderly, and they're all having fun, they're all playing sports, they're all having Kahlua barbecue, which I know I named the last one Kahlua, it doesn't matter. They're still having barbecue. So I want to look for, like, is there some kind of huge festival in Hawaii? Makahiki Festival. Throughout the month, there's an entire range of scheduled events, allowing all participants of the festival to listen to scholars lecture about the local history and folklore, as well to participate in fun and exciting events like workshops, contests, and sports, which is exactly, and it has a good name. It looks like a good time. With that, the song comes to a close. I'm finally done with it. Ugh, how long have I been working on it? I stopped counting, but I think I spent more time on this than Kahlua Cove. Since I literally made it from scratch, the guitar is a little shaky, but I hope you still enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the finished track. Thank you for watching another episode of High Score. Composing beach music ended up being a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, so I really hope you enjoyed the tracks and my process, of course. Halfway through filming, I learned that come February 20th, I will no longer be a YouTube partner, and my videos will no longer be eligible for monetization. I've been asked about Patreon and when I'm going to open one. If that's something people actually want to do, then I'll be happy to oblige. I feel quite honored even that I've been even asked about Patreon. So I'll be sure to announce it on the channel as soon as I have that up, and I'm currently cooking up all sorts of bonus content that will make it worthwhile, because really, I want to make it worthwhile. If you're supporting me, if you're supporting me monetarily, absolutely I want to make it worth your while. So I'm going to be looking into that, making sure I can do everything I can, all the ideas I have to make it a fun experience. Right now, share High Score with anyone you think who will enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching. I filmed the lights going on. Should I film them going off? Alrighty. Oh my goodness! Ah! Nothing was signaling to me that there was a problem with the stand. Nothing. This is not funny. An oldie but goodie.